All right. As you know, this meeting is recorded and will be uploaded to public internet. So chances are that whatever you say remains for a very, very long time. Okay, we have a few items. I want to actually give you one, everybody who is here and also people who may see this video later. We want to increase the number of our reviewers and approvers in the SIG. Because right now we sometimes feel like there are PRs that are not getting enough attention by our reviewers. The current pool of reviewers is relatively small and some of them are not very active. In fact, I myself may become a little bit less active as I'm getting involved with other projects. I have spoken with Abdullah. Luckily, he's going to cover for me enough in the SIG, and he's going to continue reviewing PRs. But we want to actually have more folks. If you have the requirements to become a reviewer or approver, please volunteer to do so. That's about that. With respect to items that you're working on, there are a number of PRs for adding extension points for the scheduling framework. I've reviewed some of those. Some of them are in progress. There was one particular PR for adding filter extension points. That actually became a little bit technically challenging. Not much, but it was a little bit technically challenging because of the way that we are integrating the scheduling framework with the current scheduler, and we want all the predicates that currently exist to work without any changes, basically. So we're working on that. Hopefully we can get that done soon. I know that Abdullah, you have sent PRs for adding scoring extension points. So we're reviewing those as well. And then after these extension points are done, then we can focus on converting some of our extension points, some of these existing predicates and priority functions into plugins for the scheduler. That's about that. There is one, actually like two relatively large projects. One is event pod spreading among failure domains that Wei is working on. That is in progress. Some of the PRs are waiting for API approval. So as soon as that is done, we can probably get the rest of the PRs in as well. Of course, we need to review and approve those. Then there is a kind of a relevant project to this, and that's physical host spreading. I don't know if I have it covered here in our spreadsheet. Let me see. I guess, yeah, I have it. It's actually the third item, third feature in that spreadsheet. So this one does not have any owner at the moment. If you are willing to take it, any of you folks is willing to take it, please let me know. That the idea behind that, there is, I believe there is an issue. You can read a little bit more about that. The idea behind that is that we want to find a way to mark physical hosts on the nodes of a cluster. Basically, once you know that a node in a cluster runs on physical host X, we want to add a label to the node saying that physical host of this node is X. This helps us identify nodes that run on the same physical host. And basically, this allows us to, in the scheduler, to spread pods among different physical hosts as well as different nodes of a cluster. So in a lot of scenarios, including cloud environments and also VMware environments, you may have multiple nodes of a Kubernetes cluster running on the same physical host. And if that physical host goes down, it could take down all the nodes. And if your service, for example, is running on the nodes that are located in the same physical host, your service will incur an outage. In order to avoid that, we would like to spread pods among physical hosts. So if this is an interesting project, for the first phase, what we had in mind was to support VMware. Basically, there is a VMware plugin. I believe there, if you look at the issue that is linked in our spreadsheet, you will find more information about that. There is already a plugin for VMware and for Kubernetes, basically, to go and query VMware APIs to find the physical host information. So using that, we can basically find information about physical hosts and add appropriate labels to the nodes. And then the rest, which is spreading pods among physical hosts, can be done by our already existing features of the scheduler, especially if we add, for example, something like even pod spreading, then that physical host label can be used in even pod spreading without any further changes. So,
is it possible to add the physical host as one of the topology keys? Maybe.
Yes, basically, after we have this physical host label, the topology key is going to be the physical host, basically the key part of the label of physical host. Does it make sense?
Yeah. I don't think we have a physical host
label. No, we don't have a physical host label today. You're right. Actually, one of the reasons that this part became, this project kind of got delayed from the last quarter is the fact that there were some discussions about how to add that label and what it should be called and stuff like that. So, but someone needs to follow up on that and get consensus from the community and add that label. And then, of course, there is this other part of it, which is communicating with like a virtualization environment, whatever it is, to find information about physical hosts. So for now, we can focus on VMware. And as I said, there is an already existing work. We can basically change it or bring some part of it, or at least ideas of it, into Kubernetes. Okay. So that's about that. I see Sudesh is here. Sudesh, do you have any updates on resource bin packing? Are you only waiting for reviews?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for reviews. I've already commented on what reviews I've got on top of it. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, sorry that this got delayed, but sure, I can probably review it. Abdullah, if you have the time as well, it would be great to take a look as well. Okay, so let's see. Any other important project? I don't think there are actually that many other things that I want to talk about today. Do you guys have any updates or information that you want to share, or any questions? Okay, so if there is no other questions or comments or I don't know, complaints or compliments, we can end this meeting soon today. All right, going once, twice. All right. Yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Sean, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm new here. So I think I have what's a simple question. So for the descheduler, I am trying to figure out how to get an official Docker image created and pushed to gcr.io. So I guess I'm looking for some direction on how I could help out doing that, and what would be the process to get that completed.
Yeah, I remember that in the past I tried to do this for rescheduler, and I kept running into some permission issues. I think eventually I had to go to some of our folks here at Google and ask them to push it for me. It might be the case, but the best person to speak to is Ravi Santosh. Do you know him? You might.
No. You said it was Robbie.
Ravi is R-A-V-I-E. Sorry, V-I.
Got it.
Ravi, and Santosh is S-A-N-T-O-S-H.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you work on Descheduler, you probably see him on that repository everywhere. So Robbie Santosh is the person who is basically the main maintainer of Descheduler today. And he might know the answer. If he doesn't, just get back to me on Slack and I will find out.
Is the main issue
Okay.
building the Docker image, or is the main issue pushing to GCR?
So I submitted a pull request to update the make file. So the make file now has an option to build an image, and it could push to GCR. So the main question is, who would have the right permissions? Is an automated process that would do the pushes?
Got it.
Okay. And yeah,
there is an automated. Okay. Yeah, there is an automated way to push this, but I'm not so sure if everybody has the permission to do so. I think I had run into this. I mean, not I think. I'm sure that I had run into these permission problems in the past.
Okay, cool. I will follow up with him then, and I'll try to get it figured out. Thank you very much for your help.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Is there any other questions or comments? Yeah. Okay. Then you get 15 minutes of your life back. Thank you very much for attending. I'll see some of you folks next week.